both colors, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Wow. The really scary part of that is that he might be the next president of the United States for 5 more years. Yeah, that's actually a possibility. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Radowski here of youtube.com/We Are Change. Of course, we have a lot of crazy and wild stuff to discuss today as the situation internationally is just getting more and more tumultuous as domestically. There's a major Supreme Court ruling that the leftists are losing their ish about, as it's pretty fascinating to see this live reaction and extrapolation by many far leftists that want to take it to the ultimate, biggest possible extreme right now. And we're going to be talking about that and the prospects of a potential civil conflict between Americans in this particular video. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And every time you subscribe, my co-host gets a treat that you guys, of course, get every time you click the notification button as we return 6 p.m. Eastern later on today for a podcast episode. As the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast looks like it was made by John Cover Memes. And brilliant work, simple work, but work that makes you think, makes you ponder, and more importantly, laugh at the crazy situation that we're dealing with. As, of course, if you get the chance, go support them, go check them out, go follow their work, as, of course, it's more important than ever to support your local meme merchant out there. As it's fair to say, there's probably going to be a lot of chaos out there as the right-wing political party just won the first round of snap elections within the French parliamentary, highlighting a larger, major cultural shift in society, especially in the Western world, which is being met by huge amounts of protest and people being literally pissed off that their people didn't win, so they literally riot, burn stuff down, and freak out. Literally doing temper tantrums and being angry, just like the people of France are, as there are major protests being reported right now in the city center of Paris after Marine Le Pen's political right-wing party had a decisive victory, as there are more elections coming that seem to be a rebuke of the old globalist policies that have been ushered in by former Rothschild's banker Emmanuel Macron, an individual that has failed on immigration, financial, and national security policies, as the French population sees him as an arrogant figure who clearly is out of touch of reality, highlighting a larger kind of shift in Europe, which is going to be very interesting to see just exactly how it plays out, as Emmanuel Macron is also warning about a civil strife, a civil conflict amongst the population there. As some people say, it foreshadows what could potentially be happening here inside of the United States, with a potential right-wing victory as well that a lot of people expect. As, of course, in other places around the world, places like the Middle East, there are rising tensions, especially in Lebanon, where there soon might be another front of the conflict soon opened up, which is not going to be good for, of course, Ukraine. As now U.S. officials are concerned that another offensive could also motivate Russia to get involved in this particular conflict in order to, of course, weigh down the Americans and the support that they give throughout the world through, of course, their military supplies. All of this as in other surprising news today, we have the Wall Street Journal trying to go after and attack one of their globalist darlings that previously was promoted by them, as they released an article titled "Behind Davos: Claims of a Toxic Workplace." This, as we're finding out that there is now numerous accusations of assault, harassment, discrimination, and a lot of creepy behaviors by creepy individuals. What did you expect to happen here? As, of course, these people are literally saying that they're going to be living forever and that there's going to be a bunch of useless leaders. That's offensive. Okay, do you think these people are going to give a damn about anybody else? Clearly, no. A lot of them are warmongers, and it's just surprising to see this larger kind of media coverage that has been unraveling a lot of the bigger secrets out there that previously were hidden away from the general public. What is happening with this larger kind of transition in our society? Well, we'll talk about that, plus a lot more, all exclusively on LukeUnfiltered.com. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? We got a lot of things that we give you for signing up. 3 master classes that you could take, and you could learn a bunch of really cool stuff. You could get to know a lot of cool people in your area. You get access to merchandise that only members get at cost. As of course, you also get the ability to call in to our live show that we're doing later on today, 6 p.m. Eastern, and be a part of the conversation. We have another video report ready for you guys after this one. And we're doing ticket giveaways for the Bitcoin conference happening in just a few days from now in Nashville, Tennessee. Members of LukeUnfiltered.com will get, at least 5 of them, will get free tickets, very expensive tickets, to this really absolutely incredible event that's going to be happening in just a few days from now. So if you haven't signed up yet, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Right now, click the description, click right here. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple, and we will see you there right after this broadcast. As of course, your support, your participation in this independent media organization is needed more than ever, and it truly does mean a lot to us to have your gracious support, which we are extremely grateful for. All of this while independent media keeps getting attacked more than ever, as of course the situation politically is definitely getting a lot more interesting today, as the U.S. Supreme Court just ruled on a crucial Donald Trump immunity decision, which Fox News called a rule for the ages. And there are a lot of implications here, as of course Donald Trump was just granted immunity through this groundbreaking Supreme Court case in a 6-3 decision, giving Trump limited immunity from criminal prosecution for taking actions while in office. As Justice Chief Roberts ruled that Congress may not criminalize the president's conduct in carrying out the responsibilities of the executive branch under the U.S. Constitution. This, which of course probably will now mean that there will be dismissals of charges against Donald Trump related to what happened in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, as of course a lot of the leftists are responding to this by absolutely freaking out, as there are some implications here. This is one meme created by Steven Voiceover, which I think really highlights the response here from the left.
Oh, no.
This says Donald Trump's pathway for victory this upcoming political season is becoming more clearer, as now the president has substantial protection from prosecution, as this will greatly affect many of the court proceedings that Donald Trump is currently involved in. As of course, on MSNBC, they somehow construed that this decision allows Donald Trump to assassinate his rival, which another commentator on MSNBC had to correct this kind of hyperbolic person and say, hey, there's nothing about this in the ruling or in the rule of law here, and you just literally extrapolated that out of your butt. And that's what a lot of people are doing today. As of course, the response to this by some kind of very prominent leftist figures is absolutely unhinged. It's absolutely crazy. They're talking about Joe Biden drone striking Donald Trump with full compliance of the Supreme Court ruling. They're saying how this would allow Joe Biden to shut down the elections. As other people are saying, they strongly encourage Joe Biden to take advantage of, quote, absolute immunity. And again, it's not absolute immunity. As paid-off Biden supporter Harry Sessions came out and said that Biden could now send in SEAL Team 6 to, quote, take out Trump, as he has, quote, immunity for this official act. And again, people are saying, no, that's not the extrapolation here. As of course, if you're talking about just extrajudiciously assassinating American citizens, you're talking about what Barack Obama did to a number of them, including a teenager from Colorado. And of course, Barack Obama was never held accountable for these actions, as Donald Trump is literally being prosecuted for not keeping his documents handy, not filling out the right forms correctly, and being blamed for something someone else did at the Capitol. If we're going to, of course, get rid of this blanket immunity, which, again, should be concerning, because what the left is responding to is the abuse that the left took advantage of themselves, going after taking the lives of previous American citizens. That should be the conversation right now, and it's not, mainly because these leftoids don't want to criticize their own side and the gross over-abuse of power that, of course, their guy committed. As, of course, these are the same people pointing the finger at Donald Trump, saying that he's going to be the dictator here. This is according to Joe Biden, that seems to be calling more and more of the shots here, especially around the Biden administration. As, of course, just even a few days ago, Donald Trump was saying that the Biden administration was trying to have him assassinated during their raid that happened when he wasn't at Mar-a-Lago, when they fully complied with the U.S. Secret Service and coordinated a large kind of search and seizure of his house and documents and property within it. As, of course, The Atlantic wrote about this in a weird kind of convoluted way. Again, spinning a lot of the facts here. As it's fair to say here that politically, there's a lot of uncertainties unfolding right now, specifically with the Biden administration, as a lot of people are kind of scratching their heads, kind of trying to figure out what's going to be happening here, what's going to be going on. A lot of people are like, I don't know. And this uncertainty breeds a lot of speculation, as of course today, a lot of people are sharing Bill O'Reilly that came out and said specifically that the decision has been made that Joe Biden will be quitting his campaign and no longer running for the presidency in this upcoming election. Tucker Carlson also came out in a very interesting way and said the opposite of that, saying that there's an internal rift between the Bidens and the Obamas, as clearly Obama here is trying to position himself in a way to get rid of Joe Biden, as Jill Biden has taken allegedly a major leadership role here, as she's the one finding herself more and more at odds with, of course, the Obamas. Jill Biden also has been unveiled as the new Vogue cover, as she is, of course, the one that a lot of people are saying is preventing Joe Biden from stepping down, as she is the one allegedly that took Joe Biden away from anyone that is telling him to, of course, step down. She took him to Camp David, and according to some sources at Camp David, it was the Biden family, specifically Hunter and Jill, that reinforced Joe Biden to continue his campaign and to, of course, be angry at their staff for, making Joe Biden old. It's a confusing, perplexing picture here, as, of course, the information is limited. As Bill Ackman even came out and says he no longer blames Biden for not stepping down because he doesn't have the mental acuity to make important judgments about himself, as he described how the fault lies with Jill Biden, who, according to him, wants the lavish lifestyle as the first lady of this country. As, of course, the Ring of Sauron is very difficult to let go of, as a lot of mega donors are dropping out. A lot of corporate media is attacking Joe Biden. And the Democrats, according to NBC News, are in a state of crisis. As, of course, a lot of their politicking, a lot of their lies are being called out in real time. And whenever you have failed political leadership that is told to step down, they usually act very irrationally. They usually act very immoral, and they make very drastic moves. What are going to be the drastic moves made by the Democratic establishment? Well, I don't know. What do you think is going to be happening here next? We will discuss that, plus a lot more, all later on tonight's podcast, which is going to be here on this channel, 6 p.m. Eastern. So click the subscribe button, click the notification button. It really does mean a lot to us when you do that. One more video coming for members of LookUnfiltered.com right now. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that. And this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more on youtube.com/wearechange.